I have good news for you. You don't have to homeschool all on your own. You don't have to do all of the teaching yourself. There are a variety of ways in which you can provide instruction in your homeschool. In this video, I'll cover a few options available to you and then dive a little deeper into one of those options. I'm Leslie Maddox, engineer turned homeschool mom, and I want to help you customize your homeschool. In the last Homeschool Plan Decoded video, we explored your options for choosing a homeschool style. Let's continue customizing your homeschool by exploring instruction options. The Homeschool Plan Decoded Starter Kit does contain info pages with a lot of the information that I'm about to share with you. You can find a link to the starter kit below. When you start researching homeschool curriculum options, you'll find that curriculum can take a variety of different forms. The number of curriculum and instructional options currently available to homeschoolers is wonderful, but it can also be overwhelming. And the way each curriculum provides or enables instruction is better suited for some than others. Knowing upfront exactly what type of curriculum you're looking for can cut considerable time from the curriculum research stage of your homeschool planning. The way I see it, there are basically 5 different ways that you can provide instruction in your homeschool. The first is by purchasing curriculum that you teach. This is probably what you thought about when you first thought about homeschooling. Sitting with your child one-on-one and teaching them how to read or studying life cycles or historical periods together. To facilitate that one-on-one teaching, you may purchase full-grade box curriculum packages from a company like Abeka, curriculum kits from a company like Timberdoodle, curriculum for individual subjects from companies like Demi Learning or IEW, unit studies from Homeschool in the Woods or Erica Arndt at Confessions of a Homeschooler, or non-curriculum resources that you might find online or at a teacher supply store. Curriculum that you teach can support a number of learning methods in social settings, which we talked about in a previous video. Even though you'll be responsible for the teaching portion, the actual amount of teaching that will be required from you will vary from curriculum to curriculum. Some workbooks, for example, will be laid out so well that a big kid may be able to use them largely independently, coming to you for clarification and questions. Some will require that you introduce a topic and provide teaching on it, and then the student can practice that skill for a few days on their own. Others may require that you sit and work with your child every day, especially for younger kids. So if you have a student that has a very strong preference for or dislike of a particular social setting, take that into consideration when you purchase curriculum where you'll be responsible for the teaching. This is actually a really big deal in my homeschool. I have a student that strongly dislikes one-on-one teaching, so I try to get curriculum for him that doesn't require that we work together every day. If you need a little help with a subject or just need a break from teaching, you can consider Screen-based curricula. Screen-based curricula involves online classes, distance learning, and DVD-based curricula. We've used a number of these in our homeschool. Matthew C, for example, involves watching a short video once a week to introduce a concept, with the rest of the week devoted to practicing that concept. IEW's Structure and Style for Students involves watching a couple of videos every week or two. Rather than just introduce a concept, the video is a recording of a class and provides lengthy instruction. The student then spends a few days putting into practice what they've learned from the video. We've used the distance learning option from BJU, where my son watched an instructional video pretty much every day. We've also used online options that provide video or written instruction, or both, or that provide instruction in a more interactive way. Examples of these are online Minecraft homeschooling classes, Explode the Code Online, Rosetta Stone, and Easy Peasy All-in-One Homeschool. Even though screen-based curriculum provides instruction for you, you may still need to do some one-on-one teaching and grading. In my experience, the distance learning and more interactive online options require the least help from me. And in my opinion, the learning methods that are best suited for screen-based learning are written word, spoken word, visual, and interactive, depending on the specific curriculum. And these work best for kids with an independent bent. The rest of the instructional options that I share with you involve other people, but before considering them, you should refer to your local homeschool laws and make sure that they are legally permissible for where you live. If you want to get out of the house, you should consider co-ops or paid classes. Homeschool co-ops are cooperatives of homeschool families where the load of teaching is divided up among the participating families. We'll dive a little deeper into co-ops in a moment, but they are generally best for kids that work well in group settings, since students are taught in a group or divided into classes. And parents are expected to stay and help in some way. In-person paid classes also provide an opportunity to get out of the house and outsource some instruction. Depending on where you live, you may be able to find paid classes specifically for homeschooled students for academic subjects or extracurriculars like coding. Teachers are often experts on the subject or have a teaching degree. You may even be able to find a private school organization that functions like a private school that provides classes on a variety of subjects once or twice a week. Students are given homework that they work on at home for the rest of the week. Google University Model School if this option sounds interesting to you. This option could get pricey, but at least you're truly outsourcing the teaching in those classes. The final instructional option I'll mention before diving a little deeper into co-ops is tutoring. You can find a local tutor or find someone to tutor your child in a subject online. Tutors are often experts on the subject or have a teaching degree. College students might be a help here too. Exactly how much instruction the tutor provides will depend on the services that they provide or what you work out with them. You may need to introduce concepts yourself and have the tutor help your student with assignments, or they may teach the subject for you on a schedule. I just want to caution you to never leave your student alone with this tutor until you've had some experience with them. Not just because of safety concerns, obviously, but to be sure that they're actually helping your student and you're getting what you're paying for. Now that we've covered 5 different ways that you can provide instruction for your student as you homeschool, let's dig a little deeper into homeschool co-ops. Homeschool co-ops are support groups for homeschoolers that may provide academic and social opportunities. A parent from each family is required to participate in helping the co-op function, usually by teaching, helping out with younger kids, or doing administrative work. A particular co-op may have a religious affiliation or adhere to a particular educational philosophy. So if you're considering a co-op, be aware of this and do your homework to see if a co-op's affiliations or way of doing things work for your family. They usually meet once a week, especially the more formal academic co-ops. Joining a co-op may require you to fill out an application, participate in an interview, pay fees, and agree to adhere to a code of conduct and a dress code, especially co-ops that have religious affiliations. They're not going to be down with any parents or kids showing up in skanky clothing, just saying. But I'm sure that you're as classy as a duchess and don't have to worry about that. There are a few different types of co-ops. I've already mentioned academic co-ops. Individual classes are usually taught by parents, and a large academic co-op may function somewhat like a private school, but without the oversight, experience, or teaching abilities available in a public or private school. And let's not forget safety. Since co-ops are parent-run, your children may be taught or cared for by parents with whom you do not share a parenting or even childcare philosophy. The 1 year we participated in an academic co-op, I was constantly worried about my toddler because some of the ladies in the nursery were, shall we say, extremely relaxed about safety. One of my sons had a teacher that was shockingly rude to him right in front of my face. When he simply said, "Hey, this is my teacher," he was so excited. It made me wonder how she behaved when I wasn't around. And my preschooler at the time was once lost between classes. When I went to pick him up and realized that no one knew where he was, I panicked and was literally running through the halls of the building, screaming his name as I dragged my other kids along. Those were just some of the problems we had, so we didn't continue with that academic co-op or really any other. Social co-ops are a different situation. They are primarily for social interaction. So they provide activities like park days, field trips, and even student government dances and graduation ceremonies for older kids. Special interest co-op could be fun. They're centered around a specific activity like book clubs, Lego building, speech and debate, or arts and crafts. An informal co-op usually involves a small group of homeschool families rotating homes and taking turns teaching or prepping activities for the kids. Homeschool co-ops can be a good way to get out of the house, make new friends, and take some of the teaching load off your shoulders, but they can also interrupt your week, create extra work for you, and in general be a negative experience depending on the personalities involved with the co-op. Now that you have an idea of different instruction options that may be available to your homeschooler, Think about which ones will be a good fit for how you'd like your home, not just your homeschool, to function. Take a look at your family focus statement. We created that in one of the first Homeschool Plan Decoded videos. Use your family focus statement to guide you and keep you attuned to your family's needs as you consider these different options. For example, if you'd like to stay close to home due to small children or other responsibilities, there's nothing wrong with sticking to curriculum that you teach or screen-based learning for a season. If you'd like to get connected to other homeschool families, consider a social homeschool co-op. If you need help teaching, consider academic co-ops or paid classes. Figure out what your family needs. If you'd like to find classes and co-ops in your area, you can try joining local Facebook homeschool groups and ask the members for recommendations. If you consider academic co-ops and classes, make a note of their planned curriculum so that you can research whether or not the curriculum will be a good fit for your student. In the next Homeschool Plan Decoded video, we'll talk about the vast ocean of activity ideas that you can use or that may be incorporated into curricula in order to learn different types of information. That will be valuable information for you as you choose curricula and handle problems in your homeschool once the academic year begins. Remember that you can access all of the videos that walk you through the steps of the Homeschool Plan Decoded method of customizing your homeschool right now at the link below. And happy planning!